Welcome aboard, all you wonderful groomers, pet stylists, and canine cosmetologists. You found the Traveling Groomers podcast, where we discuss lessons learned from mobile and house call grooming. I'm one of your hosts, Chris Bear Anthony. Any moment now, we'll be joined by my co-host and friend, retired mobile groomer and educator extraordinaire, Mary Oquendo, and very likely a special guest to help us chat about all things grooming, grooming industry related, and just plain fun digressions that I will totally wrangle back to topic. Grab those travel mugs and climb aboard to see where today's topic will bring us. Let's roll! Trust the process, Mary. Trust the process. Hi.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, Mary. Guess what today is?
I don't know. What is today?
Happy New Year!
Well, no, not really.
No, not really, but sort of. But yes, but no. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode number 287, recorded on December 11th, which is the no, not really, but will be airing on New Year's Day 2025. Ooh, I feel like we're time traveling. We're not, but yeah.
Yeah, so I was going through my box of advent calendar stuff for you. And I actually was looking for, because today's the 11th, I was looking for number 11.
But you already opened it.
I already must have opened it.
Because you're a chaos goblin.
Well, I was going to see it open the number 11, for you as a Christmas present.
I like how it's as a Christmas present.
However, we got number 7 for you if you want.
7-11, at least there's some synchrony there. It's I don't know. That's fine.
Okay. What does it say? It's an agate. This one is called Cherry Blossom Agate. You know what I love about?
Oh, that's pretty.
It's pretty. You know what I love about agate and jasper? Is there's like 1,000 names basing on where they are, where you find them. So they could be like the same exact jasper, but because you found it here, it's called this, but you find it there, it's called that. So whatever.
That's kind of fun.
It's pretty. And shaped like a moon.
And it's shaped like a moon, which is really, so it's a very, very crescent-y moon. So that's very, very nifty. But I wanted to start off, I didn't tell you I was going to be doing this. I wanted to start off doing a mild apology to my YouTube listeners, to our YouTube watchers, for stuff like this. That wasn't as loud as some of them were. I was editing the last episode, and there was a whole lot of dog play noise that I took out of the background for the audio. And I'm like, oh, poor YouTubers are just having like Alaric be a jerk. A jerk, I tell you. Mr. Almost Pooped in my office. So I'm going to be a little more aware of trying to mute myself on Zoom when he's playing and I'm not talking, because
No, Pooh's just asleep in my sweatshirt, totally stinking it up. So this was going into the wash for tomorrow.
Okay. I love. Oh, and just to fill you guys in on one of the things that happened right before we hit record. We'll talk about some of the other stuff later, but something only dog people will know. Like, we're doing some housekeeping chatting beforehand, and all of a sudden, I don't even know what I screamed. I screamed, no poop, I'll be back. And I ripped my headphones out, and like from across the room, I just screamed at the mic, I'll be back in 5 minutes. And I'm like, I'm sure Mary knows exactly what's happening now.
No, as soon as I saw your eyes go big and you're going, no. Oh yeah, he's pooping. Someone's pooping in a raucous.
Yes. Well, it's been, in his defense, not that there is any, looking all kinds of stupid and innocent now. He doesn't like pooping in the rain. And he tries to hold it inside in the crate, but the office is still that middle ground area where he doesn't know. And he was standing by the door and I saw him start to get into position. And I'm like, oh no. And it wasn't even a, I'm sick. If they're sick, I can excuse it. No, it was a nice, regular, solid, healthy poo. Bitch
Okay,
just didn't want to poop in the rain.
okay.
Not that any of our listeners can relate to that.
Not at all.
I'm sure no one can. Fun sarcasm. So we actually have a topic today,
I know. It's always surprising when we come here prepared.
right? I'm prepared. I looked some stuff up. I have some talking points written down. We have some additional talking points. I have my, even though this is airing New Year's Day, it's not Christmas yet when we're recording. So I have my Christmas themed tumbler with my super alcoholic oat nog in it. And it says naughty, nice, and I tried. And the I tried box is checked off. I tried. Look, an attempt was made. So Mary, what's our topic? Do you want to go into it? Or do you want me to?
Well, so Chris calls me up and she goes, let's talk about holistic grooming. And I think we wanted to discuss the topic for different reasons. All right.
Yes.
For me, term, it's like so many of a lot of the terms in our industry, they mean something, they mean one thing to one person and they mean something totally different to somebody else. And then
Yep.
there's the clashing.
But they're not necessarily wrong. The thing that kills me is neither of those people are necessarily wrong.
Oh, because there's no, I mean, and I'll give a shout out to Michelle Knowles for the Master Council of
Best practices? Yes.
Grooming Best Practices. They're trying to like take the terms and like define them, make them consistent. So when I say something, if I say holistic grooming, it's very specific on what it is I'm talking about, not my interpretation of it, not your interpretation of the phrase.
And see, and that's where I do think the definitions matter, because to me, have I discussed with you my allergy to buzzwords?
Yeah, that's I don't like buzzwords either because again,
They make me itch. Like, so to me, holistic does have a definition that can be applied to grooming, and it can be applied in different ways. So if both of these people who are calling it different things or using it to describe different things, if they can each say this is holistic, because they might both be right, they're just coming at it from different angles.
yeah, but I think sometimes the terms are the way they're viewing it is that the term is ridiculous.
Okay.
All right. Rather than meaning what I might mean, like I would say holistic grooming, in my definition of holistic grooming, is taking in the needs of the whole, the needs of me, the groomer, the needs of the pet, the needs of the client, the paying client, and the needs of the business.
Yes, which aligns with the actual literal definition of the word holistic. So that is a holistic approach to grooming. It's got to be everything.
But, you know, people who look at the term holistic in a derogatory manner look at it and saying, oh, they're just a bunch of woo-woo, throwing essential oil
Yes.
and
And
what.
I was actually going to say this might be a slightly woo-woo episode, but also no, because
Again, what's your definition of woo-woo?
and what's your definition of woo-woo? I have
the buzzwords going out.
I have empirical evidence to show how I'm feeling affects the dogs. And I'll get into that a bit later, but the reason I wanted to talk about this is we have a lot of episodes that are a little bit out there in terms of they might only be tangentially connected to grooming, or some people, like last episode where we had Angie on, we talk about stuff like that often, and I could see somebody listening and going, oh, this isn't a grooming podcast, this isn't a but no, it is. We take a very holistic approach to grooming, because how we're doing as people will affect our work and will affect our client interactions and will affect our interactions with the dogs.
Okay. So again, different definitions for different people. When I told my friend Beth that I was moving out to the Pacific Northwest, she goes, "Oh, I'm not surprised. That's so crunchy granola out there."
Yeah, but you're not super crunchy granola. I think
No,
I'm a little more granola than you are.
yeah, but compared to Beth,
But compared to Beth, you're practically wearing Birkenstocks right now.
yeah, and humming in the background.
Uh-huh. Mane Padre, and it's time to hit a button as we chant about education. And speaking of continuing education, because we either were or will be, join the Andis World Class Education Team each month for live interactive virtual classes. You'll learn new and trending styles, as well as tips and tricks from some of the best groomers in the industry. Whether you're looking for basic skills, trending styles, advanced techniques, or even just ways to spark your creativity, the new Andis Grooming Education site is your source for finding what you need to create your way for success. Try new techniques, learn from the pros, and grow your confidence today at andis.com/groomer education. Traveling Groomer podcast listeners, hey, that's you, can get 25% off your first course today with the code VEGROOMING at checkout on andis.com/groomer education. And see, education plays into it, because if we educate ourselves in terms of what are holistic methods, like I'm started work on a big project that I'm not going to go into depth on just yet, but I am ordering and looking at and purchasing dog anatomy textbooks, because everything is connected. Everything is connected. And I'm not pretending to be the biggest handler, and I'm not, or the biggest expert about handling. I have a lot to learn in that category. I know directions I want to go to start learning things, but very basic. If a dog has east-west feet, its entire life, and it maybe tolerated you touching its legs and doing stuff, and is now 11 and it's got like easty westy feet, it's really probably going to start hating its legs being messed with. I wonder why. Everything is connected. Probably has arthritis. I had that discussion with a client today.
Okay, so again, but terminology matters.
Terminology matters.
Okay.
Terminology matters.
All right, so we were talking, and sometimes taking that just a step for, oops.
What? What do you?
There we go.
I'm still here.
No, the computer, my volume decided to go all the way down and shut off.
Oh, okay. Well, gee, Mary, just tell me you don't want me to. You want me to shut up. Your computer doesn't have to do it.
My computer says, "Geez, doesn't she talk enough?" No, see now my train of thought. All right, sometimes, right, you have terminology, right? And this box, and this is this box, and this is this box, and this is this box. All right. Not realizing that you can't do that. All right. We were talking about introvert versus extrovert before,
Yes.
before we went on the air. And you could say you're an introvert, and then you could be an introverted extrovert, an extroverted introvert, extrovert, whatever. There's degrees.
Yes.
So the question that she had is that somebody calling shenanigans, saying they're an introvert when they're going to a party and apparently having fun. And I'm like,
Well, no,
no,
no, no, no, no, no, no. That it wasn't just that they went to a party and had fun. That makes it sound like I said introverts are all like anti-party people.
she
Which, to
talked.
be fair, some of them. No, her favorite part of the party was getting to know new people and talk to new people and learning about them. And I'm like, that's not super introverty.
Well, and again, again, that whole degrees. Okay.
But
I mean, no one will question that I'm an extrovert,
no.
but if you were to put me in that same party, probably wouldn't have been very happy about it because now I'm making small talk with people that I really don't think I have anything in interest with. Does that make me an introvert or just someone I just didn't want to talk to them?
Yeah, someone who just doesn't want to talk to them. But you have to understand, I am married to an introvert, like all of the introvert.
Okay.
So when we were at Rocky Mountain Groom Expo last year, and your friend, was her name Chris too? Your friend from Petco?
Christine.
Christine. And her wife was there, and she just kind of did that, oh, sit here and talk, and like told her like, oh, sit here, you can talk to this Chris, and left. And I saw the look on her face, and she asked me a question, and I kind of was like laughing, and I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm not laughing at you, because I recognized both the look and the technique.
Yeah.
And I said, let me guess, you're the introvert married to an extrovert, and you really want to be anywhere but here right now. So you're asking me a question about myself so you don't have to talk. And she just kind of went, yeah, caught me. I'm like, that's fine. It's fine. Do you want me to talk to you? We don't have to talk. You can sit there and play on your phone. Whatever do you want? And because that's exactly what Cam does. And people don't realize that he's a massive introvert because he has got the techniques when he has to be in this situation. Doesn't mean he enjoys them.
Okay. So
He's
again,
good
now
at it.
that's Ernesto is an introvert, but however, that introvert sure can talk up a storm to the point where this extrovert has to go, you know what, we got to go.
Oh, get them talking about the correct subjects.
Yes, that's it. The correct
The
subject.
correct subject. You get him talking about like, I don't know, Roman history, the history of the Moguls, like certain things, like he'll just go on and your might, I love him to bits. And I don't fake all of my interest in the Roman Empire. I don't fake all of it, but there are times I feel like my ears will bleed, and I'm like, he listens to me talk about dogs and shears. I'm gonna sit here and goddamn listen. So yeah, there's levels.
There's levels, and again, with things that, you know what, now put me in that party, all right? And I know everybody in there is collecting crystals, okay?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And maybe having a really good conversation.
Or here's how you spin the small talk into something you might, I don't know about enjoy, but do. You are now living in basically a huge apartment building. So you have really close neighbors and there's a lot of social activity. So you want to know about them. So you want to know if they're people you want to hang out with or have conversations with later.
Or
There's why you
or
small talk.
or avoid. I read somewhere it was this woman, and she always had her car keys right by in a little bowl by the front door. So that if somebody came to the door, she would just grab her keys, and if it was somebody she didn't want to talk to, just, oh, you just caught me, I'm leaving, I'm cutting out. Or if it was
That's great.
somebody, oh, hey, I just got home, dropped the keys in the bowl, and continue from there. I thought that was like brilliant.
That's actually great. That actually is that is, I'm not gonna lie. That's pretty great. Although doorbell cameras now are all the
Now
rage.
there's doorbell cameras
Because
too.
now there's doorbell cameras. So you can like answer the door from your phone and be like, do I need to get off the couch for this? Do I need to pretend I'm not home? Do I need to pretend I'm indisposed?
You know,
Like,
I've got a neighbor, not next door neighbor, but a neighbor in here, who only comes to the door to bitch about something. Okay. He's here very few times, but the times that he comes, it's to complain about something. Okay?
yeah.
So he rings the doorbell. I mean, technically, he can look through the little glass and see if I'm sitting on the couch looking at him or not. Saying,
All
hey,
right,
I'm
guys.
home.
If you're just listening and there was a bit longer of a pause there than there usually is, I ill-timed a drink and Angie almost got revenge. You almost got revenge for Angie because some very alcoholic beverage almost came out my nose, but not. I caught it and just had to, you know, when you catch it, where you just got to hold it in your mouth for a minute. You just got to hold it while you regain composure. It's still like in the front part of your mouth. You're fine. It didn't come out your nose. You didn't quite spit it. I was able to hold it. She's trying, Angie. She's trying for you. Okay.
Okay. Usually it's usually comes over in the morning when I'm still like in pajamas. Okay. Sitting on the sofa with my big old hoodie that I got from Costco. Have you seen those? Oh, I
I
love
think so.
them. They're like this huge hoodie that fits over your entire body.
Is it look like, when you say your entire body, does it look like a dress hoodie?
Yes.
Because I have a pair of pajamas like that have a couple small holes in them. Alric. Um, that I used to take as my convention PJs because they were really warm. And it goes to like mid calf, but it's basically an oversized hoodie
It's like an
dress.
oversized sweatshirt. I mean, it's thick.
Yeah,
It's got
yeah, it's thick.
awesome. So, and that's the case. And I never open up the front door because I can't open up my front door with the dogs because they're just going to pile out the door and then I got to chase after them. So I always go to the garage and open up to the garage, but I'll go there in my pajamas, in my fuzzy slippers, and ask them, how would an introvert do that?
Yeah, no, probably not. Unless they thought it was going to scare people away. Unless that was their version of, I am not clearly want to talk to you right now.
Well, yeah, because it's in the morning. My day doesn't get started right away anymore.
Yeah. Well, you're semi-retired.
I am semi-retired. And I'm sitting here on the sofa enjoying my cup of coffee and my dogs. And I got to go deal with this because I know he can see us sitting on the sofa, you know?
Yeah, you're kind of, yeah, you know what works really well for that? Curtains, Mary. But then
No,
you
the
can't.
little glass panes on a door.
Oh, well, see, that's your fault. You're making your door too visible.
Yeah, no, I
It's
don't. don't disagree with that.
They do make curtains for those as well. The only thing is that it doesn't let in the light. We have
I
in
like the
our,
light in.
yeah,
And here's the thing, if I put up those little curtains, because there's like 3 of them,
uh-huh.
which of my dogs do you think will take down those curtains first?
That's also true. See, I have doors with lights on. They call them lights, apparently, but they're high enough up that the one in the front is like all frosted and decorative, so you can't really see through it anyway, but it lets in pretty light. And the one in the backyard, you can kind of see through it, but my backyard is fenced off, so there's not really a reason for
In
that to be
order
an issue.
to see in the back of my house from my yard, you got to be actually physically in my backyard,
Exactly.
or you got a pair of binoculars. And I'm like, you know what? Goody for you.
All
But
right.
you're going to see me getting up in a huff. So the last time I did, he hasn't been back since. So maybe it
Oh,
worked.
good. So right after I throw this bone, I'm going to hit a button because we have been talking and we're almost on schedule. But we have a very important button to hit, Mary. It's
Oh,
important. Yeah. Introducing the Mobile Groomers Companion Guide, your essential 90-page resource for launching a successful mobile grooming business. This comprehensive guide equips you with all the essential insights to conduct thorough groundwork before making a substantial investment in a vehicle. Discover invaluable sections covering client, pet, groomer, and vehicle safety, routing and scheduling techniques, as well as pricing strategies. Get your copy at positiveed.com/books. Ta-da!
ta-da. Okay.
So once again, why are we talking about this and how does this relate to grooming? Because believe it or not, even the whole introvert thing really, really relates to grooming because customer service and client communications are such an important, big part of our job.
Mhm.
And I know a lot of people who go into grooming because they don't like people and they don't want to deal with people. But guess what? These dogs come attached to people. That's still a thing. So then we have choices on how we handle that. Because okay, here's an example to me of holistic grooming. You've been grooming this dog for 5 years. They are 6 or 7. They're not right today. They're off today. Something is wrong. You can't put your finger on it, but something is wrong. So you have a conversation. You don't have to do anything. You should have a conversation with that client about, hey, Fluffy has not seemed her normal chipper self today. Is everything okay? Have there been any massive changes at home? Because they could have something medically wrong with them. The owner could go, I've noticed them being a bit off too. Nothing has changed at home. Maybe it's time for a vet visit because something may be going on. Or it may be something as simple as, there's a change in the house. We moved, there's a divorce. The Fluffy's best friend and favorite person just went to college and hasn't been home for 2 months and they've not been themselves. But we need to know these things to rule out medical issues
Right.
and to know how to treat that dog going forward. Maybe it just needs an extra 5 minutes. Maybe it just needs some extra cuddle time.
All right. But the whole introvert, extrovert when it comes to clients, the real problem comes in for those who are introverts who have to give information to the owners or who don't want to deal. And it's not an introvert or an extrovert thing now. Some people just don't like conflict.
Yeah.
And that's a separate category.
That is because that comes into, you like how I'm gesturing now with the dog toy? That falls under confrontation
Yeah.
and things like, no, this dog is really truly matted. This dog really does need to be shaved. This dog really cannot be groomed today for XYZ reasons.
All right. So you can be extroverted and not want to deal with conflict. All right. And introverted and not dealing with conflict. So see these all these little nuances.
Mm-hmm. Because we're treating the person like a whole, as a whole
Yeah.
person. We're
Ooh,
treating the groomer holistically. I'm on top of this shit
very good, Chris.
today. um, and I'm sorry, when I was working in a salon and certain things happened regularly that don't happen now, I swore the dogs knew because the first day of my cycle, I was always a little bit like tired, low energy. I didn't really have cramps, but I was always a little bit not my finest. I wasn't my best, my most chipper. I was a little bit lower energy, not in the mood for that, and I swear the dogs knew. And dogs that usually were okay, they were like, "Oh, Chris isn't feeling it today. I'm going to be more difficult because I can." Or maybe they were just feeding off my energy.
They're feeding off the energy because I had Macbeth, a miniature schnauzer, who hated being groomed. It was done every 4 weeks. Hated his legs. And would proceed to give me a hard time every single groom because, he's a miniature schnauzer. Until the one day, and it was starting to snow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I told him flat out, you need to be good now. Okay. Today. I don't care about the rest of the year. You need to be good today. And so I can finish up quickly and get out of here. That dog was good.
When Cam was my bather, and dogs, like, he's getting in the tub, and they started like they were gonna, and he just looked at him, and he would, I asked him what he was doing, and he went, I could show him the angel or I could show him the devil. Where he just kind of gave them this look, and it was like, how do you want to proceed energy wise? Do you want me to be all sweet and loving to you? Because if you're good, you're going to get that. And if not, he did like the look, and they're like, oh shit, we'd like the belly rubs, please. Yes, sir. Belly rubs and niceness versus you going at me. Not that it like, and he was never rough with them. It was all energy and attitude. But it worked. And I know somebody's going to call that woo woo, but
Okay. But that is, part of my philosophy with holistic grooming is that when I'm caring for the pet, I'm working within the pet's parameters.
yeah.
But at the same time, the pet is also working within my parameters. So there's got to be that. But that illustrates that not every pet is my client. And I'm not the groomer for every single pet.
Yeah.
And we recognize that I don't have what it takes to work with this pet. It's not a diss on me. Okay. Because if you look at things holistically, you look at the whole big picture. In the scheme of things, in the big picture, this is not, we're not good fits for each other.
Yeah. And by the way, if you don't like the word holistic, some synonyms for a holistic approach, you could say it, you take a comprehensive or integrated or inclusive approach? I like integrative.
I like integrative. I think that's a really good term. And it's whatever definition you have of that, it basically means things that are working together.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I like integrative.
Yeah, I do too.
I'll rewrite holistic pet grooming and rename it integrative pet grooming.
uh, or I don't know, maybe keep the word holistic and add the word integrated or comprehensive. Comprehensive is a good word
I've got
too.
enough things on my to-do list. It's
You do. You
not
do.
at the top of my list.
You do. And I don't 100% know if it's been 10 minutes,
In about 10 minutes.
but it's been really close and I want to try to get back on track. So we will be back in 30 seconds. Yeah, 30 seconds. As a house call groomer, the idea of van and generator maintenance had kept me out of one for years. But Hanvey Engineering and Design has been making mobile grooming vans for 20 years now and has thought of that. No generator to maintain, repair, and replace. No propane to fill or worry about running out in the middle of winter. Hanvey vans have the lowest operating costs out there. I know I'm sold, but check out their latest innovations for yourself at hanvey.com. And
I
I'm
know
just
you can't,
holding the toy for a minute before I throw it again.
and I know you can't see it, but my eyes are watering right now
Why are your eyes watering?
because a certain little dog is inside my sweatshirt.
Is he farting?
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. Sorry for laughing.
So,
I'm
yeah.
sorry for laughing. Okay, so to make you feel better, I'll overshare. I don't know what I ate the other day, but I was having a day where I was feeling a little bit like poo there, and I'm sitting on my couch and things are happening, and all I could think of was, I have a dress rehearsal for the chorus performance in a couple hours, and this better calm down because I'm going to be in close quarters with people, and this better calm down because we're trying to sing and take deep breaths, and I don't want to kill anyone. It was fine. Nobody died. I simmered down, but I had that chat with my tummy. I told it to knock it the hell off. No one needed to know that.
Okay. So, misorganized. What else are on your talking points?
So, mainly, hang on. Yeah, there'll be some banging. So, I think we hit most of my talking points, but it's excuse you, mister. It's a lot of how we feel affects the dogs. And if you don't believe that, here's the example I'm going to give you. If you're like, no, that's silly, that's, crunch your granola and woo woo and blah, 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 blah. Here's what I'm going to ask. As a dog groomer, I'm guessing you like dogs and cats, right? That would be a pretty safe yes. And if at any time you think I'm not going to get a yes answer, let me know. But all right, you like dogs and cats, at least dogs if you're a dog groomer. You enjoy petting dogs. That makes you feel good and happy, right? So you just admitted that that dog affected your mood.
Yes. Happy endorphins.
Had happy endorphins. Now, if that dog then comes in and pisses on you and tries to bite you and is growling and is acting aggressive towards you, are you going to have happy endorphins?
No, I'm not.
No, you're not. Oh, so how the dog was feeling and acted towards you affected your mood.
Yes.
Right. So why don't you think it can go the other way around?
Oh, I never said that.
I know you never said that, but this is a hypothetical argument to somebody
That,
saying that this is woo woo. So if we acknowledge even your most skeptical person, if as a groomer you acknowledge that the dogs can have a positive or negative impact on your mood, why do you think it doesn't go both ways?
Mhm.
And once again, if you're like, no, it doesn't go both ways, really?
Okay,
You've
okay,
never yelled at a dog?
let's throw some science in there, okay?
Okay. Well, I love science.
All right, for on the pet side anyway, all right? So, when we're happy or we're scared or whatever feeling we're feeling, our body secretes different endorphins, okay? That's a given.
And they've done on pheromones. They've done sciency things on pheromones. And that's a thing.
It's a thing. So, and it's not that pets read us very well, is that they smell us very well. So if we're happy, they can smell that, okay? If we're scared, they can smell that.
Oh yeah.
If we're angry, they can smell that because those pheromone smell are different and they can smell that. So they can react to our mood very quickly.
Yeah. Absolutely. So,
That is the way the dogs are thinking, okay? This is an argument I have in my house all the time. The dogs start barking their fool heads off because I got 4 little dogs, 4 little male dogs. All you need is one to get started, and the next thing you know, there's 4 little dogs, 3 of whom don't even know what they're barking at. So Ernesto's response is to scream, "Shut up!" From the dog's perspective, he's
uh-huh.
joining in.
Would it surprise you at all if I said, because we both have corporate backgrounds, that when you've got the husky in the back and he's starting to sing the song of his people,
Mhm.
that there's two kinds of groomers: the ones who are like, oh my God, please shut up my head, I can't. And the ones who join in and sing the song back to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which one do you think I was, Mary?
Oh, yeah. No, I don't even have to guess on that one.
Oh, I loved singing back with them. I mean, no, if I had a headache, then that all bets are off. If you're like really feeling cruddy, but 9 out of 10 times, it's like, woohoo, song of your people. Let's
Yeah, so,
go.
to break down Ernesto and the dogs, one of the dogs is pissed, okay? So they're barking at something. Now Ernesto is pissed, and he's barking at something. So do we see the cycle continuing?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh,
So,
oh, I'm gonna bark with Daddy. Daddy's mad. Let's be affronted with Daddy.
oh, so yeah, Dad knows it. Dad knows it's pretty important that we bark. So let's continue.
Let's continue. Let's bark with Daddy.
Yeah. So in the history of my husband yelling at the dogs to stop barking, can you ask me how many times that was actually successful?
Uh,
No,
yeah.
no, it has never been successful.
See, he's not putting the proper threatening energy behind it.
Well, no, because he's matching, he is doing what they are doing.
Yes.
So it becomes communal.
He's not sending out different energy. He's doing
Not
matching
sending out-
energy.
He's not sending out the right pheromones for the dogs to react to it.
Yeah.
I'll walk
Yeah.
in the room, okay? And I'm like, the hell's going on in here? You know?
And they go, whoo.
All stop, look at me, including Ernesto.
Yeah.
Or if
Yeah.
you continue barking, you're going to go outside and bark. Everybody out. Bark out on the deck.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. All right, where are we? Let's continue.
Well, we are seconds away from hitting another button, so I'm going to hit that before I go into my other talking points that are may or may not be related to holistic. They're they're related because we're taking a holistic approach to ourselves, our lives, grooming, and this episode. Sure, that's it. Okay, you know I love my Evolution swivel shears, and you even know that these customizable shears come in non-swivel as well. But did you know that they're the only ones I've been trusting my sharpening with for around 15 years, and that's how we met? What? You haven't tried their sharpening yet? If so, send in your next batch of sharpening and you'll get one shear sharpened for free with a $75 order just for telling them where you heard about them. Your shears and blades will thank you. I brought both of the toys this time. Both of them, Mary.
Okay. So I
So,
point that we want to make with all of that is that pets can react to your energy and your state of being, which is why if you are overwhelmed, if you have a coworker that you could see that their anxiety level is rising, that maybe they have a difficult dog, all right, you need to step in to lower that anxiety level on them, because the more anxious they become, all right, the more anxious the pet becomes, and it's a what's the word I want to use?
it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, which
Yeah,
is that sort of, no, when
not,
you expect the
yeah, what
dog
it
to act
is,
bad.
it's like the snake eating its own tail.
Oh, okay. Oh, vicious cycle. It's an Ouroboros or a vicious cycle. Yes.
Oh, and they're just feeding off of each other, and the situation is getting worse. Okay.
Okay, and I have a confession to make, and I'm not going to use any real names. There are, if one of the other people who worked in the salon hears it, they'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But the chances of that happening are really slim, and I only care so much. Sorry. In one of the corporate salons I worked at, we got an aromatherapy diffuser. And we only did cats on like one day a week or certain times, so we knew when to have it, plugged in or not plugged in. And we got the aromatherapy stuff from show season, like the Barbara Bird's blends and everything. And we almost always put the calming one in, just to overall peace and harmony. And we plugged it in right next to a particular groomer's station because we wanted it to also work on her. I don't think she ever fully realized that's why we put the Mellow Pet by her in the big ass plug-in. It was at her. It was right by her station. She never realized that there was an ulterior motive. It was also by the front of the salon. So we're like, no, we want this by the front so it'll hit them right when they walk in. Yeah, that's it. Totally it. Totally it. That wasn't totally it, Mary. It was not. It's not. But I also I thought this was a good New Year's Day episode because New Year's Day is the time that we think about new habits and new things and how we want the year to go and set intentions and the like. So this was a really good episode for that. And one of my intentions, we'll see how we'll see how long this lasts, is I always talk about in my classes on burnout is to find joy and to have hobbies outside of grooming.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm minorly obsessed with nailing down a pie recipe at the moment. I think it's that ADHD thing, and once I get the recipe down, or 3 versions of it anyway. But a happy accident led me to realize what I could do to tweak this pie recipe. You want to hear about it, Mary? You want to talk about pie for a minute?
Go ahead.
All right, so growing up, my mom always made this particular pie around Thanksgiving and Christmas. And she called it mock mincemeat pie because it was an all fruit pie. It didn't have any meat in it. So it was a mock mince pie. And I was trying to recreate the recipe. And I had gotten one that was pretty good, that I was kind of happy with it. But I don't know where I don't know if I lost it in the flood or it's packed somewhere where I wrote that down. So I'm like, this year I really want to make this pie. I found one online that was close and I fiddled with it. But what I did was, instead of just adding some rum as flavor, I took the raisins and I put it in a jar and I had it soaking in rum for a couple days.
Okay.
And it made two pies. And the first one, my husband was like, this tastes like, it's really good. I mean, it tastes like straight rum. It tastes kind of like black cake. It's very, very rummy, but I was thrilled with it. I'm like, I got to write down my additions. I got to start sending samples to have people taste test this so I can get it just down. Because I have a bad cooking habit of like measuring things with my heart. So I want to semi-standardize this. And because it made two pies, we dug into the second one. And he's like, this doesn't taste the same as the first one. I'm like, how is that even possible? Because it's one of those that you make one batch and it fills two pie shells. I'm like, that's impossible. Until I realized when I went to soak the raisins in rum, I didn't have enough rum to begin with. So the bottom half of the jar soaked for like a day or two longer than the top half of the jar. So I'm like, oof, that did it. That changed the flavor. So something as little as the amount of time we spend doing something can drastically change the outcome. That goes with spending that extra 3 minutes checking for sticky outies. That goes for baking. That goes for so many different things we do in life.
Okay. And so that's a good segue into, when you're checking in pets, take the time to make sure the pet is healthy enough to groom.
Yep. And literally, it wasn't like Caribbean black cake. You'll soak that fruit in rum for months. This was at best 2 days longer. I don't even know if it was that long. At best, it was 2 days longer. And it had a huge impact on the flavor. So now I have more raisins soaking, because my bright idea is, let's lean into the black cake flavor. So I put rum and a different type of liqueur. It's like a cherry liqueur.
Okay.
Because I want to meld both of our childhoods into one pie. I want to get that Caribbean flavor into my family's mock mince pie recipe. I'm a little excited about that. I can't wait to see how that turns out.
Okay.
But
does it freeze well?
I don't know, but if you're angling for me to send you some pie, I have a vacuum sealer now.
Oh, I got a vacuum sealer too. Plus,
They're
I got
great.
the little thing that you put on top of the jar lids.
Yes.
Oh my God, yeah.
I didn't get the jar lid attachment. I don't think I have the jar attachment, but I have the machine, so I can just get the jar attachment. But maybe I do, because I have a hose. Anyway, so because it's a vegan pie, it can last up to 2 weeks not refrigerated. So if I vacuum seal it and ship it,
Or bring it to
it'll
Costa
still be.
Rica.
I'm not going to take it out on a plane. Well, I'm not. Listen, Mary, you don't understand. I said my current ADHD obsession. It is currently mid-December.
Okay.
February, you're talking about February. That's 2 months away. I could be done. I could be like, nope, nailed it, got the recipe done.
All
we're
right,
good.
put slices in a box and send them to me.
So yeah, you're gonna get you're gonna get some pie. You're on the pie list now. I think I'm going to do that Sunday just because it's going to make me happy. So good. So good. But yeah. And that also applies to grooming and education because you can take classes on the same topic by two different people and they'll have two different approaches.
Yep.
Neither of them are necessarily wrong.
Nope. Two different
But you
perspectives.
could use both of them or meld both of them into something that works perfectly for you and your clients in your area.
Yeah. You know,
Everything comes
Denise
back to
Hero and I
topic.
did for a fundraiser for Diamond in the Rough. That's Sharita Grady's parent.
Yes.
So Denise Hero and I just gave her title of the workshop. And I said, I think it was, are you ready to start your business? Okay. And we're going to do the same title. And they turned out to be two totally different workshops, totally different. And that's just, and I remember Barkley doing that one year with a day of Bichons. There was like 4 or 5 Bichon classes, all taught by somebody else.
Yeah.
So different perspectives.
Because everybody's going to have different tricks and tips and things they love. Yep. All right. I have no idea the time, but I don't really want to go over too badly today. So I'm going to play our last commercial and then we will wrap it up. And you can think of our ending talking points. I love being a house call groomer, but I hate doing laundry or worrying about asking my clients for fresh towels. Raypet has solved those problems for me with the Wet Pet disposable towel. Taking up much less space than traditional cotton towels and easy to wring out and reuse, these super soft, comfy, absorbent towels eliminate any cross-contamination concerns between pets. And now their new smaller washcloth size can even help those sensitive eye areas. Great for cleaning out wrinkles gently and thoroughly. Need to keep water bowls for your clients on hand that are easy to disinfect, but hate all the room traditional clanky metal bowls take up? Or just have a very active pet? Their collapsible silicone bowl comes with an aluminum D-ring hook that can be attached to your pet's leash or anywhere else in your van for easy storage. You can get one by itself or in their handy travel kit, along with a set of 3 tick removers and 1 small wet pet towel. So stop by their website to check it out, raypet.net, and tell them the Traveling Groomer sent you.
Okay, so ending up talking point. So sometime middle of March, the Traveling Groomers podcast is participating in the podcast-a-thon. And what that is that there's a week in February, in March, in which the podcast will sponsor a charity of their choice. All right. So we are sponsoring the Pet Stylist Relief Fund. So what we are looking for, so if you're listening and you would like to, it is a single episode. So if anybody wants to sponsor that episode, or 100% of the money that you sponsor is going to go to the Pet Stylist Relief Fund. In fact, we don't even want your money. They're going to invoice you for the sponsorship. So you can claim that tax deduction yourself. So if you're interested, contact either myself or Chris so we can get you set up.
That sounds like a plan. That sounds like a plan, as I am looking for dog anatomy textbooks.
Okay, so we will see. Hope everybody has a great holiday. This will be after Christmas. And
This will be New Year's Day.
Oh, so this will be after New Year's Day.
This will be, and to end on a positive note, something really nice happened today, and it doesn't always happen, but remember when I said I had that discussion about the east-west feet?
Right,
with a client earlier. You know how sometimes you feel like you do things and nobody notices and it gets taken for granted?
right.
Oh, she knows her dog's legs go a certain way. And she was looking at the dog on the grooming table and was like, "Oh my God, they look so straight now. They look straight." I said, "All right, so if they look funky later, brush it up because here I have zero hair and I have all the hair here to make them look." And she was so glad I did that and so happy because she hates it when they look really funky when she's walking around and people are like, "Oh, she looks like a bulldog. She's bow-legged." And she's like, "Rah, rah, 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 rah." It doesn't like that. So it was happy. Hey, look, why are you being a nut? And my dog is a numbnut, in case you didn't know. He got that poop out, so now he's all playful. Hi, Pooh Bear. Those of you not watching, Pooh is sending love. He was through the camera. He was giving us side eye. Now he's checking out the door like Ernesto's about to walk in or something.
Well, no, because he hears Cecil barking, and usually when I've had enough of Cecil, Ernesto will come get him. So now he's primed.
Okay, okay.
All right.
Nice. Alrighty, guys. I hope you had the absolute most wonderful holiday ever. And I hope if you're listening to this on the day of release that you do not have the worst hangover ever. And be gentle with yourself with New Year's resolutions. Maybe make that resolution to be nicer to yourself, to treat yourself how you would treat your best friend. Right, Mary?
Correct.
All right. Stay safe out there, guys. And yeah, fun travels. Have some fun travels in addition to safe. Well, that was fun. But now it's time to head home. We hope you enjoyed listening as much as we enjoyed chatting with you. If there are any topics you'd like us to discuss or guests you want to see join us on this crazy road trip of ours, let us know in the Traveling Groomers Facebook page. Don't forget to thank our sponsors. And see you next week, guys. Safe travels.